Welcome to Corey Felposh Podcast. For the first episode, I have a very special guest. He's a IFPA natural pro bodybuilder, 4-time overall natural pro bodybuilding champion, owner-operator of Petro's Pro Performance in Gilbert, Arizona. My good friend, Andrew Pietraszewski.
Boom.
What's going on?
Nothing much, man.
Yeah, glad you can make it.
Yeah, I'm glad we could make it.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is my first podcast. Very excited, and why not have my best friend from high school here?
Sweet,
So,
man, from
yeah.
high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good bros.
What made you, I know we talked about it before, what made you want to start your own gym? I know you were, prior to that, after college, working at I would say, to leave names out, a large corporate fitness company.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. You know, if obviously you're familiar with this, but if it's like if you're in 2009 when we graduated college, it's our year, is recession hit, dude. So it's like you can't even get a job doing jack shit. You can't do the damn thing. Like I think people forget that. It's like, dude, I don't remember, that whole year. It's like you can't even get a job. If you have a degree, you're almost too experienced to work at a low-level job. Like, I just wanted to work as a clerk at fucking Walgreens. I can't even do that because it's like, oh, yeah, we're looking for someone, like, less qualified. You know what I mean? And those are the jobs that you have to, like, apply for, whereas, like, I didn't really care. So I was doing I was an accounting assistant for, like, a family friend. And doing that, and that was fine. And then that ended because it was a seasonal position. And then it's just like, okay. And then I just getting denied job after job, and not really feeling like you get into you go to college, you're trained to, oh yeah, I know my shit. Like, I'm gonna get a job and make some, money, and then you get out in the workforce, and it's like, oh yeah, you don't know shit about anything. Oh, you need more experience. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to get experience if I can't even get a job? Like, give me experience. Like, whoa.
Right.
And so,
Catch-22.
dude, yeah, exactly. So, I had a friend who's like, hey man, I can get you a job doing this, selling training, and I was like, well, shit, that's better than nothing, dude. Like, I'd rather work than just be a bum and like bitch about my life or my job. So, just working for like next to nothing, really. And then, that's when I started. I get tired of selling training because it's just like really. The individuals I work for are highly immoral, lacked ethical character, at least when selling people. It's like, I feel like if you're good at selling something, you don't really have to sell it to someone. You know what I mean? And these guys are like trying to push shit on people, and it's like, dude, this person doesn't need this, and they're not going to buy the shit because you're just telling them what they don't want to hear. And half the time it's like, you shouldn't really have to try, It's like, you should be able to tell people, yeah, you don't want this. Like, no, I want it. And you don't have to try that hard to do that. You know what I mean? Because you're selling yourself, where here you're selling a product that you can't really believe in because you're not really doing anything with it. It's like, I'm selling training for someone else. Like, yeah, Bob will take care of you. Like, I know he will. Like, and as opposed to it's like me. Like, I got you. This is what I've done. This is what I can do. So you get kind of tired of all that stuff, and obviously, after working there for 3.5 years being a master trainer, you get kind of sick of just working with people that don't know what the hell they're doing. Like, okay, all my superiors are just, there's high rate of turnover. So it's just like, okay, there's another boss who doesn't know shit about anything. Here's another guy who doesn't know shit because they're all salesmen. So it's like, you don't know anything about fitness. Okay, great, cool. Like, don't fucking do anything for me. Like, let me run my own shit. And so you just get tired of that, and obviously I had a family friend who actually came to me and was like, I'll invest in you if you want to pursue something outside of that. So that was kind of like the initial interest, and I trained a lot of entrepreneurs, like individual people that are like hairstylists or people that are construction companies, whatever. And they gave me an extra nudge, like, hey, you ever thought about doing that? Like owning your own personal training studio, whatever. So I was like, nah, not really. Like, I don't even know if I want to do this, And I think at that time,
As a career in general.
yeah, because it's just like, I don't know, like people, when you work when you work as a personal trainer, dude, some people just don't really give a shit. Like they think that you're probably just garbage because it's like a service-related job. Like someone would look down on you just because. Like I had people come up like, "Oh, hey, are you doing this while you're in college?" I was like, "I have my degree." Like, I do this like on the side. No, I do this full time.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's good. Like you talk to members and they look at you like you're worthless trash. You're like, cool, like, thank you. Like, so, but, also other parts of your life can play a role in that. Like, if, at that time having like relationships with people or like spouses, whatever, like, can infiltrate your life and poison your perspective on your career as well. So I think I didn't have any healthy really perspective on just what I wanted to do because I just didn't have a real happy home life personally in general. So it's kind of like you learn, okay, someone else is like making me feel, or like I just don't feel good about what I'm doing because like I'm actually unhappy with this person. It's not necessarily I actually like what I'm doing. Like this is awesome. So once you clear away all this kind of really see that if you actually enjoy it. And so I was like, once I cleared all that stuff away, I was like, dude, I actually really like this. This is awesome. Like I feel like I'm good at this. Like, some of those excuse me, bodybuilding shows kind of like help give the confidence in the fact that like maybe I should be spending my time in this kind of arena, like because if you spend so much time doing something, like if we can relate it to like high school sports when we like spend all this time doing shit. Like, cool, I'm like third string. Like maybe I'm not really built for this. Whereas like if you do something like bodybuilding, for example, I spend a minimal amount of time on it and then I beat everybody and then I beat people again. I'm like, maybe I should do this more often. And I like it, but I'm actually like doing really well and I'm putting as much effort as I can and I actually see the benefit of doing that. Like, cool, I'm working my ass off and I win. You know what I mean?
So do you think, obviously, just from doing football and wrestling with you, I know you worked very hard. Do you think you worked harder in those sports or in the bodybuilding?
It's all the same to me.
All the same?
Yeah, I don't notice any varying degree. Like, I don't know I don't know how not to work. Like, it just doesn't, it's like, if I'm going to do something, then I'm on it. I'm doing it, like, 100%. So I'm usually trying to be like a man of my word. Usually if I don't do something, I'm not going to fucking do it. Like I'm not going to waste my time doing this. So if I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing it. Like as hard as I can.
Yeah.
Like till the wheels fall off. To a fault, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that benefits you in some perspective, but other times maybe not so much.
Yeah.
But I never really cared if anybody else gave a damn. Because it's like, I don't give a shit if you care or not. It's like, I'm doing this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it as best as I can. But usually I find things that you spend time doing, it's like ultimately, like there will be some difficulty. Like nothing's easy, but usually things tend to go your way. You know what I mean? It's not like you're fighting upstream your whole entire life. Like if you're doing that, then maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe you should spend your time elsewhere. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're like almost drowning for something that you're not really succeeding at. Like when do you cut your losses and be like, okay, maybe I gave that everything I had and I'm comfortable with the outcome. It's not what I wanted and I'm going to spend time on this. Because like you could be blinded and be like, I'm going to just keep doing this, man. I'm just going to keep doing that. And realistically, okay, well, what do you have at the end? Like you're still trying to meet that goal and you're not even getting there. You're not even close. Then it's like, let's say on the side you build birdhouses, whatever, and you just make those as a hobby because you like doing that. And your neighbor's like, man, I really like one of those. Could I buy one off you? Sure. And someone sees that, like, hey man, can I buy one off you? Next thing you know, you're building all these fucking birdhouses for people that you don't even care about. And you're like, okay, maybe I should be spending my time doing something with this. It's not necessarily a passion. I don't think people should spend time doing things that they're like, this is my passion, I'm going to make this, whatever. Because that can be a farce too. It's like, pick something that you like to do, that you're good at. And I think most of the time you actually be pretty pleased and pretty happy with the time spent doing it because you enjoy doing it, so you don't really mind spending a lot of time doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's where it's like you can be confused as like a workaholic. It's like, well, I like doing what I do, and it's like I see the immediate payoff and benefit of doing more work,
mm-hmm.
and I enjoy it. So I think in that perspective, it's nice if you can spend some time doing something you actually like to do that you're good at, and and usually you'll see that, wow, okay, all these doors are opening up for you, and you're not even really trying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It sounds a little bit like I listen to Adam Carolla's podcast a little bit, and he says, don't do what you're passionate about, do what you're pulled to do.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, when doors open like that.
It's like with the training, like, wasn't something necessarily that was like, yeah, you don't train people and get jacked. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, well, I'm obviously good in this one perspective. So that immediately transfers over into some type of applied criteria for a profession.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, look at Andrew. He obviously knows what he's doing in some perspective. I mean, that's the most basic, fundamental perspective you can have on that.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's shredded. I want to be like him. You know, like it's as dumb as it is. It's just that simple. You know, because
Mm-hmm.
the fitness industry is based off a lot of looks. If someone's overweight, you wouldn't look at that individual and be like, well, he's going to take me where I need to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You want someone that practices what they preach.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's usually implied in how someone looks. So it's kind of superficial, but that's just the nature of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go into this industry and think that like you're gonna make an impact. You know, if you're not in good shape yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who the hell would pay you money for that? I wouldn't. I'm like, dude, this guy hasn't gone anywhere where I want to be. Why would I pay him to do that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I pay people, coaches, because they've been places that I want to be. Shit, I'll pay them. So even coaches have coaches. So it's like, you can't be too far inside your own ego, but you also can't just be stupid to the fact, like, if like, oh, I'm passionate about helping people. It's like, okay, well, that's great, but maybe training isn't your thing.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many people I meet that are like part-time trainers. Like, yeah, I'm a trainer, part-time. Like, okay, that's like me saying, I'm a part-time accountant on the weekends, you know, I do taxes and stuff. Like, why the fuck would I waste my time doing that?
Well, what do they say when they say they're part-time? Like, why do they?
To me, whatever their reason is, it's never good enough.
Okay.
Like, you're fucking wasting time doing that shit. Like, if they wanted to say, I want to have a supplementary income, okay. But why waste your time doing that shit? Like, do something like this.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you actually have to, like, people are relying on you to help them get somewhere. And I feel like if you're not fully committed to that kind of, like, profession,
Mm-hmm.
then I don't really want you as my coach. I don't want a part-time coach. I want a full-time, like, this is all you do. This is all you talk about. This is all you do, like, every day. Like, when I tell people, I'm like, this is all I focus on every day is my clients' problems. Like, their weight loss goals. That's all I do every day.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that, but that's only my focus. Like, this guy works a normal job or a different job, whatever, normal work hours is what I mean to say. 9 to 5, somewhere else, and then he trains on the side. Like, you want me, that's all I focus on? That's all I care about is your weight loss problems or whatever it is, as opposed to some guy that part-time that does it, like, on the side.
Right. And I also imagine because you're fully immersed in the industry, you're up to date on new research and nutrition, training, you know, whereas are they doing that? Because...
Well, you talk about, like, I mean, if anyone's ever heard this, Outliers, I've never even read it, but it's like I've had friends...
Malcolm Gladwell?
Yeah, I've had people tell me about it, you know, that time spent on certain things in some capacity matters, you know? I'm spending infinitely more hours of time on individual problems for people related to weight loss than someone that's part-time.
Yeah. Malcolm Gladwell says it takes 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours, yeah.
Just to become good at something.
Yeah.
Forget about, like, being, you know, the Michael Jordan of your industry or just great, just to be...
That's where I said, like, I don't know how many hours I spent in the gym, dude. Can't even count since I was, like, 14, 15. Till I'm 30. I'm 30 now. 15.
That's the thing. All that, you know, training you did, the weight room at CHS, that all prepared you for what
some
you're doing.
capacity.
Yeah.
That's where I'm saying it's like, okay, like things are a little bit more seamless on this path.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's not a lot of rough edges. There are mountains to climb,
Mm-hmm.
but I know how to climb it and I can get to the top. I digress, but all that shit in general led me to be able to actually, through my family friend and believing in me and investing in me, and me just making it happen, like, I think out of all my clients, I just took 20 with me that wanted to come, and that's just like me building them up for a year. Hey, I'm doing this. I'm gonna do this. Will you come with me? I'm doing this. Like, what's too far for you? So it took a lot of time.
Yeah.
So sometimes people are like, I have trainers now that I'm like, dude, it could take you some time. Like, you need to plan ahead. Like,
Mm-hmm.
once you leave this corporate fitness place, no one gives a shit about you. You're a nobody. No one gives a shit about you. Like, you don't have anybody feeding you. You have to feed yourself now.
Right.
And how do you do that? Social media, whatever. I just spend time on people. Spend time on those people.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll reward you.
So the majority of your business is referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I had a mentor like tell me that,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be your biggest
Yeah.
part of building your business is referrals.
Mm.
In the service industry, it makes sense. You work with people, someone else, let them speak for you. It's like half the time I would never carry business cards on me. It's like, well, why would I waste my business card giving you a business card? Like, why am I going to waste you, like, holding them with me? Like, I'm going to get some business tonight. Like, let's go out and get some business. Like, I'm not that desperate, bro. Like, go to my website.
Mm-hmm.
And it amazes me a lot of people in my profession that don't have websites. It doesn't cost you anything, barely, to do it. That was the first thing I did.
I was looking at the website today. It's pretty sharp.
Isn't it pretty badass?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just redid it, and for like maybe a little bit cheaper than my old website fee, and it's way better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty slick, and it looks super badass.
Yeah. What you were saying earlier was interesting in terms of if you're on a path and it looks like you're not good at something, like you're putting all this effort into it. So I went back to Indiana for work.
Mm-hmm.
I was there, and I felt like, so I was on the valuation side of commercial real estate, and once I felt like I mastered that, I wanted to get into the underwriting. I was applying for jobs. I was going out to Chicago, Cincinnati, all these cities on my own dime. I was averaging like an interview a month. I was getting rejected, and I have another good friend out here who was telling me, man, you should move back. You could stay at my place, rent free. Once I was like starting to plan, like, all right, I'm gonna move back. This is gonna be my game plan in Arizona. Then I got the opportunity in Michigan. So it's like anytime I feel like throwing in the towel,
Yeah.
like I finally see results.
I feel like that's just the same thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You're seeing it out to the end, and then it breaks through. So you have to do, But I mean, like, if you're constantly getting rejected and there's no breakthroughs,
right,
be smart enough to know to be like, okay, I've exhausted this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at what point are you smart enough to understand that I put in as much work as I possibly can,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing's going to come out of this? Other than that, I had a great learning experience. I learned a lot, but I need to move in a different direction.
Right.
Like, that's all I'm saying is be smart enough to know when you need to get off that path and get onto something else.
That's hard to do, if a
It is hard to
person's
do.
stubborn,
True, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you've given everything that you possibly have,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's what I was saying before, like I operate from that extreme. Like, dude, I do everything as hard as I can go.
Mm-hmm.
So I find out pretty quick, dude, if this is going to be, if I can handle this, or if it's going to be, like, we could go back to as simple as like high school football. Dude, I can work as hard as I fucking want, dude, and I still won't be better than these big guys. I still won't be in this position. So when do I learn, like, I'm not going to try to go to like community college and play ball there. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to keep pushing that to the point of where, like, what is that fucking getting me? Like, I might as well just say, I'm done with that. I've exhausted it. I've sacrificed enough for it. Let's move on to something else. Like, I'm comfortable leaving that path and being like, shit, man, I did everything I could.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I rode that ship all the way to the bottom of the fucking ocean. Cool. Now I'll swim up. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nowhere for that to go.
Mm-hmm.
I can accept that. And I think some people just keep going because they don't want to give up, or they still like. There's nothing wrong with being hopeful or perseverance. You know, not giving up, but don't be a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like. Mm-hmm. I've never looked at things that I stopped doing giving up. I felt like, dude, I've exhausted that. There's nothing more I could have done. I don't have regrets about it because I busted my. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'll just bust my ass in a different direction. And if that doesn't pan out, then I know that, okay, I'm done with that. I'm going to bust my ass in this direction. So that's what I mean is like, be smart enough to know when that this isn't paying off. You know what I mean? Like, if you were doing, you know, moving up in your career, doing these things, you're only progressing more, and it's pushing you to the point where you feel like you want to give up, and then you're rewarded. It's like, okay.
It's like right in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're like, you have the determination to see that out to the point where actually it does have a breakthrough point. Mm-hmm. It's not like you just rode that ship to the bottom of the ocean and you're like waiting there like, everything's going to float back up to the top. You know, it's like it starts sinking, but then you don't sink. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going to ride this boat for a little longer. And things like, oh, dude, we're sinking shit. And I'm like, oh, dude, okay, now I patched it up, we're floating again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. You're not just like continuing down the same path with no progression. So from my point of view, when I look at you, you've only progressed forward. Mm-hmm. So you're on a good path.
So how about that Harry Truman?
So watching this documentary on Harry Truman, guy's a total piece of shit.
You want to just plug your business to close it out?
Sure. Well, we're a private personal training company. I'm located in Gilbert, AZ. It's called Petro's Pro Performance. Check out our website at www.petrosproperformance.com. It's super fucking sweet now, so it looks awesome.
Yeah.
But you can call, text, email. Usually first consultation is free, or if people just have questions, give me a call.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, yeah, dude, I don't know. It's been cool. I don't know if anyone will find any of this interesting, but
right, yeah.
I suppose it's cool to obviously meet up and talk and just kind of
likewise
BS. Yeah.
So, all right. Wraps it up.
Yep, wraps it up.
This has been the Corey Feldpunch Podcast.